Hello, and welcome to the House of Rath, the newest game in the world of Endangered Orphans, where players will manipulate the House of Rath itself, as well as the orphans, in order to avoid being devoured by Count Rath.
In this video, we're going to show you a brief synopsis and a breakdown of the game. We're going to set up the board and show you how a 4-player game is done.
Potentially everything you need to know to decide whether you want to buy this game or not. You don't. Okay, let's get started by setting up the House of Rath. We're going to start off with the morning room. Now that room is labeled Room of Mourning and also has the mourning birds on it. Now it doesn't matter where you put the rooms as long as the border are opposite sides of each other. So gray to gray, blue to blue, brown to brown. And there we have it set up. There is the House of Rath.
Then right in the middle, you'll put Count Rath. Now for now, we're using the Boogeyman from the previous game, but there will be a new mini coming for this campaign.
Oh, Corey, what do we have here?
Orphans. Hapless, innocent orphans. And now we're going to doom them by putting them into the House of Rath.
No, it doesn't matter which room we put them in.
Except the middle one.
Except for the middle, yeah, you don't want to put them in there, but all of these rooms should get 3 orphans to doom. Here we have the adoption papers. I'm gonna give these a good shuffle.
Right.
We're gonna find out which orphans are luckier than the others. We have Jimmy,
Yep.
Lilith, and Joey. Now, we're gonna be hiding these 3 orphans, which means they cannot be counted or seen by Count Rath. These are the lucky ones. Here's Lilith, we're gonna flip her.
And then we need Jimmy.
Jimmy, you're gonna flip him. Is that it?
Yep, there's
All
the
right.
3.
Those children are now hiding. Now that we know who's hiding, we're gonna put these back in this deck, give them a quick shuffle. Now, we're gonna have a couple of y'all sitting with us, so we're gonna consider this a 4-player game.
Right.
So on a 4-player game, I'm gonna give 4 cards to each player. So me, Corey, you, and your friend. Take these orphans, stick them back in the box. Now, all players have to eliminate 1 orphan from their hand. Well, this just simply means taking that card and discarding it. Now, I know which orphan they are, but they will no longer belong to me. And since the object of the game is to be last orphan standing, I do not want to eliminate a character that's hiding.
Right.
So if I have a character that's hiding, I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one. And if I have a character in a room with a character that's hiding, I'm probably gonna keep that one too. So we're gonna look here and see who do we want to discard. So I'm gonna get rid of the secret character.
I'm gonna get rid of this one. You're gonna get rid of that one.
Hey, and you're gonna get rid of that one.
These 3 cards and their corresponding tiles represent your hand for the rest of the game. These are the orphans that you're trying to save from Count Rath. You're a sick man.
You're
dead. Sick. What is wrong with you?
They're all dead. Up next, we have the Runaway Cards. Gonna give these a good shuffle. I'm done. Now, I'm gonna place 1 out per player. So there's 2 of us, 2 of you. 2, 3, 4. Now, we don't know what cards are down here because there's more cards than there are players. So now, the way this works is when I lose an orphan, I get to draw one, a little catch-up mechanism. But if I die twice, I can draw 2. It's not each player gets 1. It's 1 card count per player, so you might not get any at all.
And finally, we're gonna take out the fate board, corresponding fate die, and also your option die, and put those right here off to the side.
And then we have our locks. I'm gonna put those right here.
Each player's turn is broken into 2 phases. First phase, you'll use the option die to help move the children around the board. Now, be that they move into a different room, or the room moves to a different position entirely. The second phase belongs to Count Rath.
Now, Count Rath will always attack the closest with the mostest. This is the closest room to him with the mostest children in it. And he can move up to 1 space per turn. Now, we've jumped ahead to this scenario. Now, we could see there's been a lot of room shifting. There's even been a lock placed on the room. been a couple of hidden orphans. Now, I see you have Emmeline revealed here, but she's hidden here. Now, one of my secret orphans is Teresa and Pip. Unfortunately for me, she's one step away from being devoured by the Boogeyman.
Now it's Jesse's turn. Let's see if he can get himself out of this situation.
I've just rolled the feet. Now the feet allow me to move any orphan I want to one adjacent space. And what I do on this turn will directly affect what the Boogeyman does on his turn. And I want to keep Teresa and Pip safe.
So here's a couple of options. You could move Teresa and Pip into a secondary room there, which means that the next time the Boogeyman moves, it's going to give Jesse one more option to maybe do something different. You could move Tanya into here, and that gives the Boogeyman an option to attack Tanya rather than Teresa and Pip. Or you could do something else, which I think Jesse has something in mind.
I do. By moving any hidden orphan, it reveals them. So if I move Emmeline over here, which Corey clearly has, then on the Boogeyman's turn, he goes here, he will be attacking Emmeline.
Which is a great way for Jesse to try and get me out of the game a lot faster.
We're gonna do a reset and a re-roll. And the eyes have it. Corey, what does the eye do?
The eye allows you to hide or unhide any one orphan token or reveal someone's orphan card permanently.
Okay, I could choose to hide any of these orphans behind the locked door, but that really won't help me because the Boogeyman can't cross there anyway. Something I could do is revealing Jimmy. What does this do? This puts one orphan here, one orphan here. It's my choice. So I would purposely move over here to attack Jimmy, putting more space between the Boogeyman and my orphan Teresa and Pip.
Now another thing you could do is rather than reveal Jimmy, you could decide to hide Teresa and Pip. That way the Boogeyman is going to be forced to take one move here and one move here to get down to these three tasty orphans.
Of course, it's going to take 2 turns, but he has no other choice. He's going to eventually go to the room with the most orphans in it. Now let's reset and re-roll. The luck. Ah, the key, Corey. One of my favorites because it allows for lock manipulation.
It allows you to remove an existing or place a new lock, and that stops room-to-room movement for both the orphans and for the Count.
Now, it also stops room rotation, and the only time a lock can be broken is by Count Rath, and that's only if there's no other visible orphans available for him to go after. Since rolling the key, I'm going to place this lock here. Why? Because he always goes after the closest with the mostest. In this case, he sees 3 here, he sees 1 here. He will break this lock, removing it from the board, and he will go after one of these 3 kids. So now we're gonna once again reset and re-roll. Rotate. Okay, Corey, tell us a little bit about how this gear works.
So that gear allows you to rotate one room twice or 2 rooms once. So I could rotate this guy this way and rotate this one this way. Or if you rotate a room that has a hidden orphan, that orphan is automatically revealed. Something to keep in mind to keep the Boogeyman busy.
Remember, anytime a hidden orphan is moved through means of feet or gear, they are revealed. Keep in mind that locked rooms cannot be rotated and islands cannot be created. Now that I've rolled a gear, and because my objective is to protect Teresa and Pip, I can move 2 rooms once. So let's say I go here and here. It seems like the ideal thing to do because now the Boogeyman's forced to go here with 3 orphans. Or I could move 1 room twice. I can go 1, 2, forcing this orphan to be revealed, and the Boogeyman moving that way, giving me more options to save Teresa. And finally, let's say I rolled a wild, Corey.
Gives you access to any of the other sides.
Any of them. I could do any of those actions.
Yes, you could.
That sounds like a good thing to roll. Corey, let's explore the psyche of the Boogeyman. His turn is all about manipulation and elimination. Keeping in mind the closest with the mostest. The boogeyman will always go to the closest room with the most orphans in it. And he moves up to 1 space per turn.
Also keep in mind that since you're controlling the boogeyman, in the event of a tie, you get to decide which way he wants to go, including staying in the spot that he's already at.
Now, this room has the most orphans, but it's not the closest. The boogeyman's turn, he will move here. Once little Jimmy has been eliminated, now even though this is the closest with the mostest, it's locked. He can't see what's back there. He will eventually, turn after turn, make his way towards the room with the most orphans.
Now once the Count has eliminated these 3 orphans, and since the rest of the area is empty, he will make his way this way and break the lock to go right into here.
And once broken, the little orphans in that room can beeline their way out. Now, Corey, question. What if this lock is here and this orphan is here? Where does he go?
Well, the orphan is still hidden, so he's going to go after the closest with the mostest.
So, if the boogeyman starts here on my turn, it is the most, or it could be a tie, and I could stay there, and I get to choose which orphan he devours.
Now, if Count Rath attacks Brody and no one has claimed him,
Brody dead. Now, if the Count ends up in your space and he attacks one of your orphans, it's up to you whether you want to let him die or try to save him. I'm gonna attack little Anthony. Anybody have little Anthony? Corey?
by permanently revealing that I have little Anthony, I am now given the option to try and run away from the Count. I get my fate die and the fate board, and let the luck have it. Aha! 5. Anything above a 5, you're able to run away. And if you are, that means that little Anthony is able to move 1 space. Now, since I have permanently revealed him, that means he can now use one of the secret passages. Secret passages are between 2 of the same colored tile. Little Anthony would now be able to get 2 tiles away from the Count, give himself a little breathing room.
During any player's turn, when rolling the feat, they can move any player's orphan, but only Corey can make little Anthony use a secret passage.
Now, if I were to roll below a 5, that means certain death. We have flavor text. I can't be positive, but I'm pretty sure 2 of the things on this plate are you. If that happens, you take the token.
He did.
You take the card, and you put them off to the side. Now, since I have died, and there is a runaway card available, I will take that to hopefully use for the next time.
Yes, the runaway card. Corey now has a slight advantage over the other players. Consider this a catch-up mechanism, if you will, a bonus for losing an orphan so soon. Now, the act of running away does not guarantee him the ability to move 1 orphan in adjacent space, no. That is the act of rolling the dice to see if he could run away. This gives him a redo. So by revealing the orphan, anytime the boogeyman lands in that space, he has the ability to run away. If he misses that roll, he can play this card and try to run away again. Now, the card has a second ability. The card could be move an orphan and lock a door behind him, place any orphan in any room, rotate any room to any other location. They all have special little goodies that are played between your turn and the boogeyman's turn, which means you'll roll the option die, do what it says, then play your card, then move the boogeyman's turn. These are a lifesaver. We're going to talk about one more thing, something we like to call the shrinking house rule. Now, this is only applied if you want to speed up the game for eliminated players. You don't have to use it, but if you want to, Corey's going to tell us a little bit about it.
So I'm done, out of the game. On the next remaining player's turn, they're able to remove 1 room from the house. Now, a couple of caveats about that. Room can't be occupied, room can't be locked, room cannot be landlocked. Otherwise,
you get to take it out. So at the end of my turn, once Corey has been eliminated, I'll take my turn as normal. At the end of it, I look around and can remove any 1 room that applies. And that's it. That is the House of Rath. Gameplay will continue until just one player is remaining in control of his orphans.
If you guys have questions, and I'm sure you will, check the updates, check the FAQ. You can even watch us play House of Rath below, and we hope you guys enjoy.
God help your soul.
Somebody needs to.